Hey guys, my name is Bryce, and today I'm doing a video on the BrickCan 2017 video. So it's basically going to be a slideshow of my mocks right now, and then I'm also going to throw in a couple videos. This is me getting my trade bag with a bunch of macaroni pieces. So this is kind of day one for me with my BZ Power shirt. First off, these two guys you definitely need to follow on Instagram, Vancouver and Final Rondo. They did like the majority of all the barnacles here. Ron did a whole bunch of really cool Overwatch characters, and here's some of my Wild Shore stuff. But Kabakanui had like, I want to say 70 or 80% of the other barnacles. Like, they're both amazing builders. Speaking of amazing builders, all the system stuff here just blew me away, and adaptations of like the modular city stuff. It was beautiful outside, but we didn't care because we were all building with Lego. There's actually a surprising amount of activities to do. A bunch of people are handing out free stuff that we could make, which is really nice. Started making dreadlocks out of macaroni. Had another shirt for fun. This is where I brought in my Yellow Submarine ship. I'm trying to speed through all this as fast as I can. A bunch more trading and stuff. We made a BrickCan based on a whole bunch of letters we all got. These are some really expensive, like $300 like prototype bricks that somebody had. Just to look at, they were not something I could really pitch in for. Here's kind of like an overview of what it looks like from above. And starting to give out prizes.
And this is Kim, better known as Kim. Her main job this weekend is to keep my clothes on. Tough job, tough job. Okay. 2017.
So lots of good energy going on. This is actually a story that I did for Instagram. Pacing was a little bit crazy, and the cropping is strange for some reason. But in any case, I'll try and bear through this. This is kind of the public day where it all began. Some really cool motorized stuff. Found a bunch of great barnacle parts for like $10. I voted on who I wanted to have the best in the show and all that good stuff. I got to talk about the Lego Inside Tour, which is really cool. Found a carpentry minifig, which I'm going to use for my personal mod. Paul Hetherington gave an amazing talk on all of his work. The scale and functional stuff is amazing. And I also won this giant green energy dragon, which is amazing. We also had some other building competitions for prizes. This is a catapult one, so we're all trying to launch stuff into a bucket, which they have great luck. I made this little racer with the team and even made a ramp for us to practice on, which was fun. Then here's actually Hot Wheels, of all things. Hot Wheels set being used to drop all the cars off. You all the way down over a jump.
Oh my god!
There's the Canada 150 thing, which is cool. They talked about the Robertson screwdriver. Here's even like a beautiful flower made out of like hot air balloon parts. Here's a bunch of really cool space stuff coming your way. The space stuff is actually probably one of the larger submissions into it, so I'll probably not try and submit the same thing next year. This is really crazy medieval scenes now. Incredible builds, like very, very detailed when you kind of look up close. Here's the Up submission, which I really loved. A bunch of steampunk stuff. This back cave was insane. I remember seeing it last year. Just the attention to detail on how it was lit and everything was really well done. Once again, like all the vehicles they crammed in and just like all the raw detail was great. Like how they added the Joker this year. I could stare at this for a long time, to be honest. And here's the Barnacle crew again. This is also by Paul Hetherington. Even his lettering is beautiful. Really aspire to what he does. Now this is the Fallout Shelter, and if you're not familiar, it's something that the Vancouver Lego user group has been doing, and they basically just have all these little rooms that a whole bunch of their members can all make, and they made this giant thing where it's got like a lighting rig, and basically people just cram in as much detail as they can to it, and yeah, again, if you want you can even slow down the video a bit. I don't blame you, this is so much to take in at once. I definitely made quite a few passes trying to see all the detail that they had fit into this. It's quite remarkable. The fact that they even have like more floors now just means next year's is going to be even more insane somehow. More sort of miniature scenes and everything. These are really wild because I ended up making music videos. More scenes from Harry Potter and Joker. This one I really like. It's the Flash. So you can just trail along. It even went around other mock submissions. Yeah, I just really love that. In the end, that's where he ends up, just like splashing in the water and stuff. It's really cool. Then there's like all these horrifying projected Avengers members, which are kind of cute and ugly bulldog kind of way, but there you go. There's a map of Canada, which a bunch of landmarks, more motorized stuff. This is amazing. I just want to take a second to appreciate how large this set is that somebody made, and the fact that the movie didn't even come out that long ago. They just they either teamed up or they just spent a lot of time. These are also amazing little scenes. Public transit bus from Vancouver, which is great. More vehicles, a bunch more motorized stuff. It's really nice to see in all the city things just how many motorized parts there are. A great ball machine, which I couldn't get too much great footage of because it was really crowded around there all the time, but definitely see it in person. This I really appreciate as being like a happy birthday 150 Canada train that went around. This is a huge outdoor kind of winter wonderland scene. There's a drop zone setup that somebody made, which actually works with magnets. And then this is great. I think that reminds me of when I actually went to Legoland, where they have a sort of a drawbridge style bridge that actually works. And not only that, when it closes down, it completes the circuit again enough to have a train roll over it. And hopefully that's not a huge spoiler, you can kind of see where this is going, but it just kind of blows my mind just how well done that was. Like, flawless ride over and everything. It's really well done. Got some really cool tree details which I haven't seen before. Incredible skyscrapers, and they even had like curtains inside that one. Cool log cabin. More of my shirt from last year that I got. Collaborative build stuff. Mexicans trying to go over a laser wall. This is me breaking open the motorized base for the yellow submarine that I built. Here's the Bionicle lineup again. Got my little palm trees and stuff, which I actually made the palm trees out of a trading bag that had a whole bunch of fezzes. Some more amazing mocks. And here's where the public floods in. Kind of as you saw earlier, crazy amount of people when you think about it. This I really, really liked. More really cool spaceships, more space art, lots of sort of brick-based art, which honestly I think it should be its own category by this point, because there's quite a few submissions. Here's me being in the shadow, literally, of another person's mock. These train sets were incredibly detailed. I really love this stuff. It's always really impressive. Really great emblems for superheroes, cool motorized sort of outdoor spinning fairground thing. More Bionicle, because I can't get over how many cool submissions there are. This is really cool. It's just a motorized snake that somebody would drive around and kept corralling me around to where it wanted me to go. Here's a Lego Inside Tour bit. And here's a cool gearbox, which I really like, that Paul Hetherington had on display. Just really, really slows down whatever kind of gear training you have going. And here's also a mermaid that keeps kind of just bobbing along. Very simple build, but I quite like it. Here's a waterfall made out of Lego, and you can probably kind of tell because this is the opening of how it works. This guy, Stephen Yu, is amazing. Got another great mockist. Got some really good shots. That's supposed to be friends around the world. Some more rewards given out. Here's like what the trophies look like, and there's like a social adults only game where we just made a whole bunch of builds on the spot based on prompts. That was a lot of fun. Some racing down the Hot Wheels track. Here's this year's shirt. Here's really expensive, collectible minifigs. I think Deadpool is like $24. Really cool spaceships again. Some cool Lego Friends stuff. And this I could stare at for a while. It's like a great ball contraption and a bunch of like creatures bouncing around and chainsaw conveyor belts. There's a lot. It's amazing. Here's a Vogue Theater, which is over in Vancouver, which I like. More really cool micro-scale city stuff. Here's me. Here's a really cool background for the space thing that just came up on sort of third day or so, but it really adds to the background of it, which I like. Here's somebody taking a photo, and clearly they're hypnotized by the little feature I built into the yellow submarine. More medieval stuff again. Here's an ant, which is really sweet. Here's a crazy amount of detail for that bicycle project again. More micro-scale, which I like. More people coming in. Jewelry, which I really love. This is a bare naked challenge that some people had to take part in. A lot of them I can't zoom in super close because a lot of it's really inappropriate, but that was one of the winners. So yeah, I had to strategically crop out a whole bunch of stuff. This was an unexpected gift by Vinyl Rondo. It's the wildshores.cobrick. This is more awards being given out. Some really amazing submissions this year. I was quite impressed.
That would be a Death Star.
Yeah, the prizes given out are insane.
So, let's do another drum roll. Just because I made you feel good. And your next show is... Congratulations.
And with that award given out, we started to pack up everything, had to kind of clear out, and had to really appreciate how all my mocks were relaxing while everyone's freaking out trying to get all their stuff in the right box. So it's kind of nice and chill though. Had like a little place card thing that I made about halfway through. Had some goodbyes, which is great. And I had to relax at the end too. So that pretty much sums it up for this week, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.